Hello and welcome. This is a video tutorial for 7rooms on the web, and this video is going to discuss putting blocks on the calendar. Blocks are going to be really important for us to make sure that we manage our inventory of lanes that we can potentially sell online or potentially give out to walk-in customers. And it's going to be important that we create blocks as soon as we have more information about what is available. There's going to be a lot of reasons to create blocks. They could range from any type of COVID restriction that we have in the building. If a mechanic is working on those lanes per se, if we know we have a league coming in, those are all reasons, a few of the reasons that we can have blocks in the system. So in order to create a block in the calendar, you would click into, you would select the date that you're looking to create this block, okay? And right now I'm a little bit in the future, so I know my date is coming up, and I would just click into this grid and make sure I was on the grid here. And I would click Add Block. Now, the name of the block is very important to give everybody who is working at the front counter insight into why we are blocking off these lanes. Let's say, for example, these lanes are just out of service for the day. And we can go back in and we can add the lanes that we need. So L's are going to represent lanes in the system. And let's say that the mechanic needs lanes 1 and 2 for the entire day. So you can do a couple different things here. If they need them for the entire day, you can say all times during a shift. And since we only have one shift a day, you can block it off the entire day. If it's only for one day, then we could just do it on a single date. If it repeats, let's say it's every single Sunday, for, let's say, a month, for 4 weeks, we can set it up so that this pair is going to be blocked, or this lanes 1 and 2 is going to be blocked out of service for the entire month. And the only people who would be able to override this are super users and managers. Let's keep that setting as is. When should this block be released? Let's keep that as never. That's essentially also a restaurant functionality more than it is for us. So we'll go ahead and add that block. So you'll notice here that lanes 1 and 2 is out of service all day long. If we were to go down the calendar, we'd see that nobody could ever book lanes 1 and 2 online. In certain instances, we could override this block, but only a manager would be able to do that, not part of the service staff or the guest customer service staff. Well, let's go back in here and let's say that we need to edit this block. We realize it's not going to take as much time as it needs to. We maybe only need to do it for half of the day, and we're going to get this ask because it is a part of a series. Do we want to just do this day? Do we want to do anything in the future? Or do we want to do all days? The reason why they ask you about in the future is you may be selecting a day that is already in the future. So let's say that you come into the calendar and you select next week. The system needs to know, are we selecting all this day and forward, or are we selecting everything that is currently in the system? So that's the little nuance there between edit all days and edit following days. For this, we'll edit all days. And let's say that we've learned that they're going to need lanes 3 and 4 as well. We can block those off. Or we can click on this only button, and that would remove all of the other blocks that are on there. But let's say, for example, that they're really only going to need to do this for the next 2 weeks. And maybe they will only need 3 hours. So let's say it starts at noon, and they'll be done working on them by 3 o'clock. Let me go ahead here and save block. So now you'll see that updates. We've got lanes 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if we go to next Sunday, 1, 2, 3, and 4 from 12 to 3 is out of service as well for maintenance. So that is the way to add a block and edit a block. And obviously this is going to come in handy when you're looking at leagues as well. So obviously we're in here, we've got a league coming up, Sunday Mixers. And I'll show you this league in particular. If we come in here and we edit this, we'll notice that this is not part of a series. And the reason why this league is not part of a series, it tells me immediately that it is an every other week league, because the system will not allow us to create a continuous reoccurring block every other week. It will only allow us to create a continuous block that is every week. So normal leagues that are meeting every week, easy to create a block going forward. Tougher to create blocks for every other week leagues because you'd have to do it for every time that they meet. So this is just a one-off block from 5:15 to 8:30 for this league. And you would only be able to edit this one day. But in a situation where we have multiple days going on, then it would ask you if you want to override just this one day. Or, let's say, for example, there is a reoccurring league in the system somewhere. Let's see if we can find one. Here we go. So we've got a Thursday mixed league. And if we click in here and we click edit block and edit again, we'll see that this is a part of a series. So this is one that meets every week. And we could come in here and we can just override one day, and it would just be for the 5th of November. Let's say, for example, that there's a couple teams that aren't going to be there. They've already called and they've said, we're going to pre-bowl, we're going to post-bowl. You can actually remove that block from the calendar and then open it up so that people could potentially book it online. So creating blocks and updating and editing blocks is going to be really important for us to control and manage all of the inventory that is in our system, and making sure that basically any time here that is available could potentially be booked online by somebody. So we want to make sure that they have all the accessibility they need to book as many slots or any spots in our calendar that are available. Let us know if you have any questions on this. Thank you.